Hello, Serious Survivor here, and today we're going to talk about the importance of having a well-stocked first aid kit. First aid kits come in many shapes and sizes. You can purchase your own from various retailers online or build one yourself. Some kits are designed for specific activities such as hiking, camping, or boating. The kit discussed here is a general kit, which will include the most basic necessities for most situations one can encounter. No matter the situation, one can't deny having a well-stocked medical or first aid kit is an absolute necessity. This video focuses on the items that can easily be obtained by anyone, items that one can probably find on the internet or your local pharmacy or even dollar store for some of the items. So let's get started. A medical kit begins, or should I say ends, with the bag or storage container of your choice. I do not include a bag or such on this list. It's probably best to find and purchase a bag after you have gathered the supplies you need. It's always best to get the contents and items you desire and need first, and then choose your carrying bag. Always choose your bag based on your contents. Don't build your kits around the size or type of bag. This leads to leaving something out or forgetting something, or not having enough room for everything you do need because the bag may be too small. Get the bag last or buy a larger one. 20 items that need to be in every long-term first aid kit. 1. Band-aids, gauze pads, tape. This section is referring to your everyday band-aids, bandages, gauze pads, and of course the tape. When choosing these items, make sure they are sterile and make sure you have at least several of each size. There are many available sizes on the market, and you can probably obtain a package that already has assorted sizes. The need for this is self-evident. To ensure wounds are properly dressed to prevent the wound from becoming infected or re-injured, these are a basic staple of any first aid kit. These are also fairly inexpensive, and you can get hundreds of these types of items for only a few dollars. Keep as many as you can depending on your bag size. 2. Liquid bandage or some adhesive strips. In addition to band-aid types of supplies and bandages, it's also a good idea to include some of the newer types of medical equipment on the market. The liquid stitches available in adhesive strips and even the newer methods are excellent choices for sealing smaller wounds and cuts. These are fast becoming very popular, as the need for stitches and then removing stitches may be unnecessary if you have these supplies for smaller wounds. They are also very easy to use. Have at least one bottle of liquid stitches or one package of 25 or more adhesive strips. These are relatively cheap and can be obtained for less than $10. A suture kit. A suture kit may not be the first choice for a lot of people when building a kit like this, and this is not a one-size-fits-all deal. A suture kit is necessary and beneficial for several reasons. The most predominant is to aid in sealing up wounds that are too big for the liquid or adhesive strip. One of the other advantages of a kit like this is that a suture kit will generally come in a small pouch or similar, and it will usually include, in addition to the needles and suture thread, scissors, forceps, and sometimes other small lightweight surgical tools. These do, however, require some training and know-how or the necessity for one to develop these skills. Have at least one of these kits. I've seen them range in price from $9.99 and up, depending on how much you would like to spend. 4. Israeli or compression bandage. An Israeli or compress bandage is a battle dressing that aids in stopping the bleeding of more major wounds. These are excellent choices because, depending on the situation, time is sometimes a commodity we don't have. These are very helpful and have saved countless lives on battlefields throughout history. Have at least 2 of these types of items in your kit. 5. Splint bandages. Support. This category focuses on ACE-type bandages for sprains and such, splints for fractured or broken limbs, mainly your extremities, and any type of support brace or bandage like a knee brace, ankle supports, things like that come in really handy when you're in a difficult situation and you have a minor injury like this. Have at least 2 wraps and 2 different sizes of finger splints, and possibly a knee brace and ankle brace if you want to throw those in. 6. Tourniquet. This is a last-ditch resort when there are no alternative means to stopping someone's bleeding. This should never be used except when a life hangs in the balance, because using a tourniquet improperly or leaving it on for just a second too long can result in the loss of limb, gangrene setting in, and even death. Keep at least one of these in your kit. I have seen the prices range from $10 to as much as you would like to spend. 7. Antibiotic cream. The need to treat and prevent infections in a survival situation will be a major issue. For long-term survival, the fact is that somewhere along the line, you or someone close to you will be injured or hurt in some way. Simple types of antibiotic cream can prevent infections in small wounds and even burns. This is necessary and very inexpensive. Without antibiotic cream or ointment, the smallest cut or abrasion can develop a life-threatening infection. Keep at least 1 to 2 tubes of these in your kit. Antibiotics are needed for the same reason as the antibiotic cream, though these may be a little harder to obtain and sometimes they can be pricey. But having oral antibiotics is a distinct advantage in a long-term situation. Oral antibiotics are powerful in both fighting external and internal infections. There are many types of substitutes naturally and available on the market, but generally these do require a doctor's prescription. So keep as many of these as you can. Sometimes they will be hard to obtain. Stomach medication. This is an often overlooked part in a medical or first aid kit, but this can be a very important aspect of survival or comfort in the wild or in any situation. Because in a survival situation or any dire circumstances, then we may not always have the proper diet or the types of food that we're used to eating, which would lead to some digestive problems and even other problems. Having this type of medication in can be really beneficial in the long term and in the short term. Allergy medicine, Benadryl, etc. Allergy medicine for insect bites and stings, things such as that. Benadryl has been around for a long time and has a reputation for helping with things such as this, and for good reason. It's a very good idea to carry this type of supply in your kit and any variations of it that you might find necessary or beneficial. Pain relievers of any type are an excellent addition to a first aid kit. These would be everything from headache medication to general pain relief such as Advil and Aleve, back pain, aspirin, Tylenol, ibuprofen. Always keep these types in your kit and any additions that you have found as an individual that work well for you. Keep at least 1 or 2 bottles or several of the small packets. Thermometer. For obvious reasons, a thermometer helps in accurately determining the intensity of a fever. This device is usually very cheap and can be found anywhere. 1 or 2 of these will do. This is an optional part of the kit, but I included it because if you truly are in an SHTF worldwide event, one that could possibly include any type of nuclear fallout, or an event such as grid down that would result in power plants failing and radiation being released into the atmosphere, then potassium iodide is the most widely prescribed medication for radiation sickness. So this wouldn't be a bad idea to carry if you're in close proximity to a nuclear power plant or a nuclear facility of some type. It never hurts to be too prepared. 13. Dental repair. Sometimes this area is overlooked when talking about first aid, but in a difficult situation, one may have the problem of a chipped or broken tooth, a cavity, or a filling that's fallen out, and more. There are a lot of things that can go wrong when surviving. If dental issues are not treated, they can lead to major infections and definitely excruciating pain. It's a good idea to have some items that will help with the types of problems. Things such as oragel, pain reliever, filling repair kits, and the temporary filling cement kits and other dental supplies. This is an important section, and if overlooked or forgotten, it can come back to bite you. Keep at least 1 to 2 tubes of oragel or similar and a temporary filling kit or cement for your broken teeth. Antifungal cream. Any and all types of ointments used for treating rashes and skin irritations will be a much needed supply, especially if you're in a wilderness or remote setting. There are multiple types of vegetation that can cause minor and major skin irritations. Also, the body itself, if not properly treated and kept clean and dry, some parts of the human body will begin to develop rashes, which can lead to fungal infections such as athlete's foot, jock itch, and others. This can become extremely severe if left untreated, often resulting in the loss of an appendage. Keep at least 2 of these in your kit and try to find the types that are proven to work. 15. Sterile gloves. These are important for more than just ensuring that you don't get blood or other bodily fluids into your own bloodstream through cuts, scrapes, or anything you may have on your hands, but also to prevent any germs, organisms, or bacteria you have on your hands from entering the wound that you are treating. These are very cheap, and make sure to get the non-latex, the sterile type. Keep at least 5 pairs of these on hand. 16. Alcohol or antiseptic packets. These are necessary for obvious reasons. These help to kill any unwanted bacteria and such on the wound that you are treating, a necessary part of any kit. For a family kit like we are talking about, keep at least 10 to 20 of these. 17. Medicine for each individual. This goes without saying, but for anyone in your group or family that relies on medication, it would be a necessity to obtain extra of this. This may sometimes be hard to do because a lot of medication can only be obtained through a prescription. But if you're truly building a medical kit for those close to you, this can make the difference in that person's quality of life and even life itself. These can be hard to obtain, but some doctors may understand and write a prescription for an extra month or so. The price of these depends on what type of medication it is, and keep as much of this as you can. 18. Snakebite Kit. This can be a lifesaver and is excellent to have, especially if traveling in the wilderness, rural, or forest areas. These are very small and can be found in just about any survival store or even your local Walmart. 19. Cold compress and hot compress. These are used in pain relief. In a desperate event, everyday luxuries will not be at the touch of our fingertips anymore. These compresses will provide much needed pain relief in situations involving swelling and such. It's good to have at least 1 or 2 of each, the hot and the cold. 20. First aid book or manual and a book on medicinal plants in your area. Having a basic or advanced first aid book or manual will be of immeasurable value in a long-term event. You only have to use it once for it to pay for itself. For those who lack medical training, have a detailed guide on hand will be extremely beneficial for diagnosing and even treating various sickness, disease, and injuries. Remember though, having a book never takes the place of proper training, but this book can be a lifesaver. Also, a book or manual on medicinal plants you may find in your area or the area you may be traveling through. Remember that most prescription medication, remedies, and cures were originally derived or developed from natural compounds, so we can assume that most prescription medicines and most medicines that are man-made to treat specific illness or injuries, these effects can be duplicated by some of nature's own creations. It's important to truly understand this area. Do not ever use, ingest, or use as medicine any type of plant you find if you cannot positively identify it. And that's the importance of this book. So here are some items that will also be excellent additions to any first aid kit, especially since these items are very small and have relatively low mass. But since I did limit the video to 20 items, I'm just going to give a couple of honorable mentions here. Eye drops chapstick, a breathing barrier with a one-way valve for CPR. And of course, there's much, much more. When it comes to first aid, when it comes to medical, there are so many devices, medications, and things on the market that we can purchase and really put to use. A medical kit, in my opinion, is never complete. As a prepper, we don't want to make the mistake of thinking any part of our preps is completely 100% taken care of, because there's always room for improvement. But always add to your kit what you need as an individual. Understand yourself, understand your own allergies, your own tendencies to become sick or not become sick, and any type of medical problems you may have or that run in your family. You want to take these things into consideration when building your kit. Don't just use the generic kit that someone in a factory put together. Put together a specific kit for yourself that you know every component of this kit is going to benefit you or your family. Whenever you buy a first aid kit or put one together yourself, make sure it has everything you need. The items we discussed above and anything else that may benefit you as a person. Always check the kit regularly, update it, check the expiration dates, and replace anything that's used or out of date immediately. Don't keep used items in your medical kit. For more on first aid and anything related to survival, some of the items mentioned above, such as first aid books and manuals, and the manuals about edible and medicinal plants, can all be found on the Serious Survivor website. And these are all free every day, all the time. Remember, training is essential and knowledge is the key. And for now, Serious Survivor, out.